about this. Hey, what
Hey,
up, mate? How you doing today?
good. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. How's your day been? How was the exams today?
Yeah, it's just been busy. So it's basically the third round of midterms for the classes, and then we have a couple of weeks before finals. So had an exam Tuesday, had an exam Wednesday, and then Friday. So busy times.
Jeez, you
Yeah.
sound busy. Thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy schedule for doing this little interview with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
Thanks for
and
having me.
sorry for messing you around a bit because then our president said he's going to speak earlier, and now he says he's going to speak later. So,
Yeah. Nah, it's all
yeah.
good.
Okay, so we're just going to dive into the questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Sweet. Um, so how was your debut in single-seater cars in general?
My debut was interesting. I didn't come from a really large background of go-karts, so I had to learn a lot on the fly with real cars. I ended up doing a lot of like smaller races to kind of build up my experience before jumping into a big series. So it was just a gradual progression of learning how to be fast and learning how to race and then going from there. But my first year of or full year of driving was interesting. We started doing some development work on a car, and ended up finishing like 14th in the championship. But the pace got better and better and better as the year went on. Yeah, so we did that championship for 2 years. So yeah, it was good.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah,
And what championship was that?
I was the F2000 championship series. So using like Van Diemen, F2000 cars.
Yeah, sounds interesting. And what was your best result in that series?
I ended up winning a winter exhibition event. I got second in the season finale. Um, yeah, and then I ended up setting like I think one track record as well. So yeah, picked up some podiums, got a win. So yeah, it was a fun season. I learned a lot as well.
Yeah, man, sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
And how was it getting three podiums in the US F3 last year or the F3 Americas last year?
No, that was really cool. So I had sat on the sidelines for a little bit because I started university. And then I got the call from Phil at Momentum, like one of the drivers couldn't make a race. So I jumped into, it was Shay Helbrook, a W Series driver. Jumped into her car for the weekend and ended up getting a podium, which for me was like, I just wanted to go there and be competitive and just prove to myself and also to people around, like I still got it, having been out of the seat for a little while. And then, you know, Honda ended up coming in and helping to fund the next round that I did at VIR. And I'm extremely grateful for them. And we ended up getting two more podiums there. VIR is just a track that I really like. And having been with the team before, it was just easy to kind of jump into the car and be quick instead of having to learn again to work with the engineer and stuff. But that was great racing against like some of the top guys in the country right now.
Geez, sounds like a blast. But yeah, I think you have a question in the comments for you.
The series that is part of FRP. Yeah, so I was actually racing in FRP at the time. I did the 2014 championship and the 2015 championship.
Aspiring racing
We
driver,
got
so I'd like
sixth
to
in the
further my career,
2015
and I think this would
championship.
be a great stepping stone
But yeah,
into
so those
possibly an
guys,
IndyCar
I know
or
Bob and all of them
transferring
really,
back
really
into
well
Europe
in
and
my
trying to
race.
go for
And
that Formula One seat again.
yeah, really good guys,
An early
great
morning start for the
series,
F3
good
Americas as
racing,
race
good
one winner
tracks.
number
So
72
yeah, I
Jody
always would,
Dickerson of
if I
California
had the chance,
once
I would go
again
back and do
lead the
some
field
racing for
with
fun with
Argentinian
them
number 9
because it's
Baltazar
just a good
Ladoucen and
atmosphere.
Jacob Abel in number 51 in
Yeah,
third
because
place.
I just told you
Just
about
as
that
he'd
question
done in
because I
race
kind of
1
want
earlier
the
in the
people
weekend,
watching to
Cody
be a
Dickerson
part of this
steadily
interview
built
as
on that
well.
lead and got
You
himself a
understand that?
comfortable gap that the
So
rest of the
yeah.
field couldn't
Okay, my
contend
next
with.
question was,
Posting the best time of
so that race in Pittsburgh,
1:34.163,
which you
the
made your debut,
Californian
wasn't the
built that
best
lead
of
to over
starts actually,
5
hey?
seconds.
But
Dickerson,
you ended
as
up with
always,
a
in
podium at the
control
end. Talk me about that through that weekend.
and crossed the line for his
Yeah,
second
so
win
the
of the
weekend was
weekend and
interesting.
his
I
third
had
in a
not done
row
any
to lead the
testing with the
championship.
F3 Americas car, which is really different to any of the other F3 cars that I had driven, whether it's the British
The
F3
second
car
race
or
of
the
the day
European
and the
F3
third of the
car.
weekend was a similar affair, and
So
again,
we
Dakota
actually had
Dickerson
2 days of
led from
testing
flag to
that was
flag.
provided by the
Though
promoter, so
much
everyone
closer
had
this
two
time,
days
the
before the weekend
Argentinian
started.
Ladouzen was able to
So
keep
from
the
there, it was
American
just like,
Dickerson in his sights for
okay,
the first few
learn the
laps.
car, learn
A gap
how
of
the
less than
HPD
2
engine
seconds.
worked because it was really one of the first turbocharged race
But as
cars
the
that I had
race
driven.
bedded in, the drivers got into their
And
rhythm,
then
and once
also I
again,
have to
Cody
learn how to
Dickerson of
work with the engineer
California
as quickly
took
as
the
possible
all-orange number
to
72 to
get
the
the car
next
set
level,
up going
putting
in
in
a
fastest
direction that
lap
I was
after
happy with.
fastest lap to break the toe of the chasing
So
pack.
Friday came around, and Friday we had really
His
solid
fastest lap
pace.
in the hotter conditions, not as quick as his
Ended up
morning
being
time,
like
but
second
good
place in
enough to
Friday
once again
practice.
control the race
But
from the front and march on to his
Saturday
fourth
came,
victory
and
in
I
a row,
think
and a
the track
commanding
ended up
lead in
progressing
F3 America's
quicker than we'd
2019
expected in
season
terms of
as
how
the
much
series
rubber was
next
being
time
laid
heads to
down by the
VIR
cars.
in a month's
So we
time.
kind of missed the setup a little bit on the first race on Saturday. We qualified fourth and ended up finishing outside the top 10. But we had made an adjustment during the race in order to try and experiment and see which direction we can go in setup-wise for Sunday. And we made some changes that worked. So we just kind of gauged the track evolution pretty much perfectly on Sunday, and we picked up fourth in the first race and then the podium in the last race. So that was really good.
So yeah, like I said, not the best start of the season, but the progression was there, getting yourself onto the podium.
Yeah, for me, it's like I was on the back foot in terms of experience. So as much as I could learn in the short amount of time and then apply it, that was kind of my philosophy to that.
And like you said, you were the guy with the least experience heading into that weekend, but overall, you actually had a pretty good coming out of the races you did. Because if I'm correct, you only did 3 race weekends.
I think we did 2 race weekends, which amounted to 6 races.
Yeah, so I couldn't remember 2 or 3, but I knew it was in the arc around there somewhere.
Yeah. Now, I think like with the amount of points that we were scoring between Pittsburgh and VIR, if I had done the last 2 rounds, I think we could have tried to get a top 3 in the championship because like we were pretty consistent, like podium, just off the podium. So now I was extremely happy. And also Momentum Motorsports, the team, did a great job because the car that I was driving didn't belong to the team. Like Ligier would roll the car over to them Thursday afternoon, and they'd have to go through and put their setup on the car and everything like that. So yeah, for like such a good turnaround time.
So yeah, for the overall stint you did with the championship, you actually did pretty good, I must say, finishing 9th if I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, to come in and be right on the pace, especially with like a really good driver.
Yeah, personally I like Dakota because he is a pretty great driver in my opinion. Like he's one of my favorites over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, who is your racing idol in like overall? Who is the racing driver you look up to the most?
I have a couple. I mean, definitely like Michael Schumacher is for me like a really big hero of mine in terms of like just his out and out performance, his consistency. Also, like his mental strength, like there were some races where he just was mentally really strong and able to push through. Yeah, but for me as well, like Fernando Alonso was someone who I looked up to a lot as a kid. He's just super fast, and being able to just put a lap time out, drag it out of the car. It's just something that as a racing driver is really cool to be able to watch and then to try and replicate that, just being so quick all the time.
Sorry about that. Okay. And Joe, which is your favorite F1 team overall?
Ooh, it has to be McLaren. I like McLaren. I like McLaren. I like kind of like that underdog vibe they have, like even through like the late 90s, early 2000s with Mika Hakkinen, taking on Michael Schumacher. And then Lewis Hamilton winning the championship. Like, I really enjoy McLaren as a team. And if I have the opportunity ever in my lifetime, I would definitely take it to drive with McLaren.
Okay, now that's where me and you is exactly on the same page. I'm also a big McLaren fan. It's my favorite team currently. When I was younger, my favorite F1 team used to be Ferrari just because my favorite color was red and they used to win a lot. So that was my philosophy because I started watching F1 basically from when I was born because my dad watches it, my grandpa watched it, my mom watches it. So I grew up watching F1. And everybody supports Ferrari, so that's why I supported them. But since 2014, when I started watching it and actually knowing what's going on, since I was 14, my favorite team slowly but surely actually became McLaren.
Yeah, no, it's a cool story because it also started with just one guy, Bruce McLaren, and it just grew into
Yeah.
the organization that it is. And I like
Have
that
you,
underdog vibe they have.
yeah, have you seen the picture that used to float around Instagram with the McLaren that shows when it was just one small building versus
Yes.
now it's nowadays with that big? And I don't know.
Yeah,
Every time I see that picture, I just go like, "Ew, evolution in progress."
yeah, no, it's a great team. It's a great story as well. And also like just the pictures of the McLaren Technology Center, like they really recognize their history. They never
Yeah,
forget the past. Like when even before like Senna, um, through the Senna time, through Mika Hakkinen, like they never forget it. That's for me like the history
building
of
on
it.
that,
Um,
and then building on the Hamilton times. Even when Hamilton left the team, they still preserve the history and they're proud to be the McLaren F1 team.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, and I gotta be kind of a little bit biased over here and say another reason I support them is because Lando Norris is my favorite racing driver. Since I saw him
Yeah.
in the um, European Formula 3, that's when I started latching on to him as my favorite driver. So yeah.
Now Lando's cool. So I raced against Lando in British F3, and like just racing against him taught me so much about like just the way racing is in Europe as a whole. Because racing in America and Europe is just a completely different format and mindset of how to go racing. But yeah, he's definitely really really quick. My favorite personally is Alex Albon. I know him as well a little bit off track, and yeah, he's just genuinely nice guy, super 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 quick. And
I'm
when I
also
heard that
very,
when I heard that he got promoted to Red Bull, I was just super happy for him. He's just a guy. He deserves it. He's massively quick.
my heart broke in Brazil when after contact between him and Hamilton. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
no,
was like, oh,
he
when
deserves that one.
Albon got bumped off of the track, and I was so like I was so sad. I actually stopped watching the race. I'm like, yeah, screw this. And then later I came
Yeah,
back
no,
to see.
I was annoyed, but then Carlos with McLaren came through the podium, so it's definitely like,
I was very happy about that. Like seriously, and
yeah,
even the drag race between Gasly and Hamilton was.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
personally a Honda fan. I am a big, whether it's the road cars or the race cars, and to see the Honda engine like start to pull away from the Mercedes there at the straight was like, yeah, they got it. So it's really cool.
goosebumps coming in. But I'm also glad for Pierre getting the podium there in Brazil because really, he really deserved it after having,
He
when
deserves that
Albon
one.
got bumped off of the track, and I was so like I was so sad. I actually stopped watching the race. I'm like, yeah, screw this. And then later I came
Yeah,
back
no,
to see.
I was annoyed, but then Carlos with McLaren came through the podium, so it's definitely like,
I was very happy about that. Like seriously, and
yeah,
even the drag race between Gasly and Hamilton was.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
personally a Honda fan. I am a big, whether it's the road cars or the race cars, and to see the Honda engine like start to pull away from the Mercedes there at the straight was like, yeah, they got it. So it's really cool.
goosebumps coming in. But I'm also glad for Pierre getting the podium there in Brazil because really, he really deserved it after having a pretty tough year.
Yeah, and like having a year like that, like I think really does a lot to the mindset of any driver. Like being on the top of the world and then just like boom going down. So it's just good also for his mindset as a racing driver. Like he still got it, he still got the mojo, and he'll carry that into, I'm
Yeah,
sure, the next time he gets into the
first
race
I
car.
think he just had a tough year. I just think he had a tough year.
Yeah, and we all go through
Like
that.
everybody has their time. Like you get your up years and you get the years you aren't performing as well. Just look at Vettel in 2016 when he wasn't performing as well as he usually does.
Yeah, and also like one thing that you don't really see a lot or that isn't portrayed a lot is what's happening in these guys' personal lives. So like a lot of things that could be affecting them on the track could actually be spawning from off the track. Whether it's like,
Yeah,
with the relationship, and these things, even though they shouldn't have an effect, they do a little bit.
I'm just gonna like take an example out of Drive to Survive season 2, like when you had Albon, when he said he actually got dropped from the Red Bull Junior program in karting.
Yeah.
Like he had personal reasons why he was performing that bad. But I'm just very happy for him because he finally got his Red Bull promotion back, and now he's actually driving for the team who dropped him in karts.
Yeah, and like, so I did a little bit of go-karting with Albon just for fun because like a driver that he was coaching was associated with a team that I was with, and like he was so quick in a go-kart. At that point, he was in GP3. I think he had just won his first.
Personally, I'm a big fan of. Even George Russell is a pretty good driver, I must say.
Yeah, no, George is good too as well. I mean, to win the F2 championship, your first try is massive.
Like, I have a lot of people, like even my dad, like he doesn't watch junior formula, and I also have a few friends, they don't watch the junior formulas, and they're all telling me, look how slow Russell is. I'm like, no, you haven't seen what he can do yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Put them in equal machinery. But yeah, I think we're getting a bit off track here with my questions I had. Well, I actually only had one more question, but that's the problem about talking about F1.
Yeah, someone asked if I would want to race S5000.
Yeah.
Is that the Australian S5000 series?
I think so.
For sure.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah, so actually, interesting thing about the S5000 is the chassis they use, that Ligier chassis, is the same car that we use in the F3 Americas. All they do is they take the HPD engine and they just shoehorn a massive V8 into it. But yeah, they use the same chassis, and definitely, yeah, I would love to do that series. Those cars look like so much fun to drive.
Yeah, I was really excited for the Australian S5000 this year, but and then it got cancelled. Like I really wanted to still, because I didn't really watch F1 that much. Like I used to watch it when I was little, but when Barrichello was driving, I wasn't really focusing that much. And when I heard he was driving, I was like, yes, let's do this. And then it got cancelled. Like I was really excited to watch Barrichello drive a bit.
Yeah, and also like the fact that all the cars are more even, it makes the racing really, really cool.
That's why I love spec racing, and that's why I like racing overall, because you get different flavors from different series. Like every series has its own positives.
Yeah, for sure. And also like every car is different as well. So like, maybe a driver might be suited to one car in like British F3 or a European F3, and then he goes over and drives an F2 car and has to adapt to it, and that's kind of what makes a really good driver, is that versatility.
Yeah, but that's why, like, even earlier today, I was talking with my mom there, and thinking, like, when Vettel leaves F1 one day, there, I would really love to see what he can do either in IndyCar or the LMP1 series. Like, I would like to see what he can do in there. That would be pretty interesting for me to watch. Like,
and for me, like, following IndyCar as closely as I do, like, it's really cool to see someone like Colton Herta, who raced in British F3, European F3 Open, come over here and do so well in a spec series like IndyCar. Having raced against him myself.
And if I'm correct, Max Chilton also used to drive the British F3, and he's also in the IndyCar now. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
Chilton's driving with Ganassi? Or no, with Carlin. So
my favorite team.
Yeah, those guys are machines, and they produce some really good race cars.
Yeah, I like, and the reason why Carlin is my favorite overall racing team is because of the versatility they have in all the different series. Because they don't stick with one series. I like them because they're all in a lot of different series in a lot of different countries. Like you'll see them in the F3, the IndyCar, they also have an Asian Le Mans team, LMP2 if I'm correct. But that's why I love Carlin that much, because they're everywhere and they're just everywhere, and that's just fun for me to watch. There's always a team I know.
That's cool. Okay. And also Trevor.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm saying, and also Trevor goes to a lot of those races. So, like, I went to the season finale at Laguna Seca, and Trevor Carlin was there. Like, he doesn't miss out on a lot of the races his teams do.
Yeah, and that's dedication you need. But yeah, like I said, my final question I actually had was, what's next for you in your career? Like, what?
So right now, it's about, like, I know I have the pace. It's about now getting the funding and the sponsors and kind of aiming for a path. So the Formula Regional Americas, or F3 Americas, was called last year, changed the prize package. So actually the winner of F3 or Formula Regional Americas will get an Indy Lights ride. And for me, like looking at the projection of IndyCar and like they've proposed rules now for a couple of years and they're set in stone. IndyCar for me is really appealing. And if I can make it there in a couple of years' time, you know, knock on wood, that would be like ultimate goal.
That would be pretty awesome. I would love to see you race in the IndyCar.
Yeah, that
And
would be.
do you have any aspirations to return to Europe or to go to Europe to race there again?
If the
Or
opportunity presents itself, I would 100% take it because you know racing in Europe is such a big stage, and also it's just an opportunity like once in a lifetime. Like you have to take it if it comes.
um, would you like? Would you ever be interested in driving Formula E or endurance racing or something like that? Or are you going to stay with open wheel racing
So I did a
overall?
little bit of like I did one round of the IMSA championship a couple of years back for Petit Le Mans, and like those races are super fun. So for sure, like if I don't make it to IndyCar, or even if I do, I would always take some attention and put it towards like that side of racing because you know when you're in a race for 10, 12, 24 hours, it's just it's amazing. It's a mega experience.
And it sounds fun. Like I always play Project Cars 2 now on the Xbox, and
Yeah,
I'll always play some cricket and then just make the most outrageous races ever. Like I'll do a 24-hour race around Monaco with in like multi-grid, like multi-class cars with
yeah.
Indy cars, then the Formula A cars, the Formula Renault cars, and the Formula Rookie cars all in one grid. Yeah, like I
No,
always
it's
love doing
crazy.
that.
And then it's crazy when you're like a car in the middle class because you're overtaking people as you're being overtaken. And like to manage that
Yeah,
is cool.
I could think like it's always like it's tough because you know the other car's faster than you, but you still have to concentrate on your own race and try and
Exactly.
stay ahead of the other guy. Yeah, it sounds mental. Like I couldn't even imagine, being on a track with that many cars, knowing some of them are gonna pass you and some of them you still have to fight off.
Yeah, and I mean that's where making friends is like really key. It's like if you know, okay, this guy is driving this car, it makes life really easy. Um, Also, this is where having rivalries really sucks because if someone is in a slower class than you, they're more likely to hold you up or not make your life easy in overtaking.
But that's one rule I'm not 100% sure on. So when it's multi-class cars and the one car is slower than you, it's a class lower than you and is ahead of you. Is he allowed to hold you up, or can you fight your way through, or does he have to let you pass?
So, I mean, the general rule is like the car in front will just hold his line, regardless of like what's happening. So you have to be assertive as the car behind to like put your car in a position to get past. You know, if you don't put your car there, the guy ahead, even if he's in a slower car, will just take his line.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you still have a race of your own to keep a hold
Oh yeah,
of,
100%.
and having a car between you and the other car behind you will just benefit you in the long run.
Oh, massively. Yeah, I mean, like you can lose seconds a lap depending on when you catch traffic. So, like, I'll give you an example with very recently doing the iRacing series. I was fighting for second place with a driver, and we ended up catching traffic, and I lost about a second and a half just through catching traffic in the wrong place. And it wasn't slower traffic, it was just lap traffic. You know, so like when you also have a pace difference, then you can lose even more time.
Yeah, I could imagine that. But yeah, thanks a lot for doing this little interview with me. I really
Yeah, no problem.
appreciate it,
No,
and
it
I
was good.
really enjoyed talking about the F1 with you. Like, yeah, because here in South Africa, I don't have a lot of friends who like F1. All my friends like rugby or cricket and stuff. Like, so I've no
Yeah,
one to
South
talk
African
F1
cricket. Yeah. I'm a big cricket
Yeah,
fan.
I also like cricket. Uh, like, I'm also a big
Nice.
fan of that. But yeah, but yeah, thanks a lot for doing this little interview with me. Because racing isn't
Thanks for
that
having me.
popular in South Africa.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks a lot. We'll talk again soon, eh?
Cool. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please give a like, share and subscribe to this video. And just want to give a shout out to my new editor, IndieGT. Go give a follow to him on Instagram. Link will be in the description below. And go follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, and go follow Quinlan on Instagram as well. Peace out, guys. All these links will be in the description below, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. Cheers.